My name is Dmitry Dmitriev. I live in St. Petersburg. I really love my sunny and sometimes rainy city. I like its history and its complicated nature. I have a friend in Kazakhstan. His name is Denis. He lives in Astana. I have always been interested in traveling and exploring new places and new people. And when Denis invited me to his house, I agreed with pleasure. I am going to Kazakhstan. St. Petersburg, often called the Venice of the North. City of Peter, built on the islands connected by numerous bridges. St. Petersburg is a jewel of Russia and could compete with the real Venice and Amsterdam. The historical part of St. Petersburg is all riddled with large and small rivers, dotted with the bill of divorcement and suspension bridges, and each of it is a work of art. That is why so many people who want to take a ride on the boat and enjoy the beauty of St. Petersburg. If you walk along the Nevsky towards the Anichkov bridge, you can get into the Katkin Garden. This name was given to the square with a monument of Catherine II by Petrograders. At the fence of Catherine Garden, in the area of the Nevsky Prospect, Petersburg artists exhibit and sell their work. At the same place, they draw portraits for all comers. Nevsky Prospect, artists, the cultural capital of Russia. I like this. Admiralty Embankment. They are the most famous lines of St. Petersburg. Menacing lines guard the rest of St. Petersburg. The tourists here relax a bit and enjoy the river view. At night, it is one of the most popular places to see the bridge. In June 1910, the Admiralty Embankment of St. Petersburg opened a monument to Peter the Great. This monument is better known as King Carpenter. Peter I was a very hard man. He liked to have a rest, but he worked a lot. That is why we love our Peter the Great. Now I'm on the most famous square in St. Petersburg, Palace Square. It is always crowded. You can drive and make a selfie. You can just relax. Now almost everyone takes selfies. To become a director, you only need a camera or your smartphone. Here and there, at the palace, where there are such wonderful views, everyone wants to keep the photos for their memory. In the center of the square there is an Alexander column. This is one of the tallest towers in the world. And this huge column stands on a loose pedestal. At first in St. Petersburg, everyone was afraid to walk near the column. We thought that it could fall. But it is all forgotten. Now we all walk under the column safely. And I'm still a little afraid. Suddenly, a strong wind blows. And this is an angel figure on top of the Alexander column with the face of Emperor Alexander I. Maybe this angel does not let the column fall down. In St. Petersburg, wherever you look at, you see double-headed eagles. And it is not surprising, because St. Petersburg was the capital of the Russian Empire for a long time. In fact, the two-headed eagle is the symbol of not only the Russian state. In many states, this is a mythical bird depicting the flags and the coats of arms. But our two-headed eagle is the Russian. In any case, we are in Russia. Scottish bagpipes at the Palace Square. I think Peter I, which opened a window to Europe, would be only happy. Yes, all the viewers and listeners are welcome. The State Hermitage Museum is situated in the Winter Palace. The Hermitage translates from French as a palace of solitude. It was the privacy of Catherine II who enjoyed the world's masterpieces, and now the Hermitage is open to all. Well, let's see what's inside. To read carefully, I enjoyed every masterpiece presented at the Hermitage. You needed a lot of time to see everything, maybe weeks. It might be even months or even years. There are many children who could come here for free, as well as retirees. The Hermitage has so many rooms, and everywhere you look, you see world's masterpiece. Everywhere you look, you see the world's masterpieces. To see all these beautiful things takes a lot of walking, and so the students just sit on the floor to listen to the story of the guide and just relax a bit. Our children from an early age learn to appreciate harmony and beauty. Every Russian would like to be a king. This is our royal throne. I would like to sit on it a little bit. My feet are so tired. St. Petersburg was built as a fortress city, and the city needed new ships. So there was an admiralty. At first it was quite small, but now this building is a business card of St. Petersburg. It converges the main artery of Admiralty St. Petersburg, Nevsky Prospect, Gorokhovaya Street, and Voznesensky Prospect. At the headquarters of the Admiralty on the pavement, there is a real anti-tank. The Admiralty anti-tank was needed because of the rules of the protection of especially important objects. But it seems to me that instead of tanks, these Urkins do an excellent job with conventional cars. In our town, perhaps not only in our town, children are dressed up like police officers on holiday time. It is of course very convenient for supervision, and the children can prepare themselves for a particular function. The Church of the Savior of Spilled Blood. Above the channel, the rain as of old. For the sake of the truth of love. Here was killed the Russian Tsar. The blood of Alexander II was shed right here. There are street musicians playing next to the temple. It is very symbolic. The Orthodox Church, the Indian sitar, Swiss hang. This is our modern St. Petersburg. Young people are playing on very interesting instruments. And next, instead of the traditional Indian drums called the table, it is an entirely different instrument. It is an instrument of Switzerland, which is called the hang. If the sitar is an ancient instrument that was born a few thousand years ago, the hangu is only 16 years old. It was developed by Felix Rohr and Sabina Schauer from Swiss Bern. The hang translates as a hand of Bernese dialect. Hang translates as hand with Bernese dialect. Therefore, it is called hang. The Bronze Horseman. This name was given to a monument of Peter I by Alexander Pushkin, who wrote the poem. Interestingly, the sculpture Falcone was worked on for 3 years. The guard officer was taking off on a horse for a few hours a day on a special platform and raised it on his hind legs. The poor officer. Now it would be enough to even a video with a simple smartphone, and there is no need to torture yourself and the horse. The guest house. This perhaps is the most famous shopping center of St. Petersburg on Nevsky Prospect. Anichikov Bridge. The world-famous sculptures, Klodot, conquest of a horse by a person, are settled here. A fourth stage of conquering the horse, 4 statuettes. They stand at each corner of the bridge. This is the Hay metro area, and this is the area of the Hay. Now it is very beautiful. Recently there appeared very original benches where instead of a platform of a bench, there are wheels of a cart. You can sit on the bench and it seems to you as you are riding on the cart. So beautiful. And how cool is it to blow bubbles, which fly into the Haymarket Square. And at the same time also are photographed. Pictures, I think, are just wonderful. Mariinsky Theater is still one of the first opera and ballet theaters in Russia. It is our pride. They were projecting the best masters of opera and ballet from all around the world. In 2013, there was built a second stage at Mariinsky, the very beautiful and modern building of Kryukov Canal Embankment. I often walk along the Nevsky Prospect. I like everything here. In the old houses with magnificent sculptures adorning the walls, and many tourists who are always somehow in a hurry, and St. Petersburg people with their daily activities. Nevsky is the heart of St. Petersburg. It has a soul. And every time I walk down Nevsky, I feel the city. I am on Griboyedov Canal, which is decorated with 4 figures of griffins, animals with a body of a lion and wings of an eagle. There are always a lot of tourists and students. Everyone wants to be photographed with these lovely little animals. To not make the griffins be bored, funny petrograders pasted butterflies on the muzzle of griffins. And now they flutter with their wings in the wind. It seems to me like the griffins like it. Peter was a very complex man. He worked hard, but he also liked to have a good rest. That is why we love our Peter the Great. There are many different countries and cities in the world, and I would like to go everywhere. But the best journey, a journey to visit a friend. Dennis invited me to Astana. I am going to Kazakhstan.